Hey guys, I'm Nextrous, playing League of Legends with Filthy Casual as usual. Ash got bot. Today we are talking about art while we play.
Indeed.
Say hello. Are you not gonna say hello?
No, I've given up.
Oh, me too then.
Well, that's the end of today's episode. See you later, guys.
Goodbye, guys. No, art. Okay, right. So, let me tell you something about art, Andrew. Don't like any of it. It's all. What do you think of art? That is my question to you. Just broadly, do you like it? I don't like art. Come you hook this guy. Why aren't you playing blue?
Hook?
What? What?
To be fair, Agot does look a little bit like Pudge from Dota.
You know Dota characters.
Yeah, some of them.
I'm so proud of you. Since when did you play Dota?
I've played it like once, but I know about it.
Was that with me or not?
No, I don't think so.
Oh. Yeah, I played Dota.
But Dota's like the original MOBA, so I have to know about it if I played it.
Well, Dota 1 or Dota 2? Which did you play?
2.
Okay. I played Dota 2 as well. It's really, really sick. Because you can like buy like skins for like individual parts for the skin.
Yeah, yeah.
I've got some next crazy ping, by the way.
I don't.
Thanks. You really helped me out. Some terrible ping. I don't.
Oh god.
Jeez. Anyway, tell me about art. Do you like going to like galleries and shit? It's one. Fuck. Oh. Thanks. I'm so sorry.
You were just like farming that whole time as well.
Oh my days. At least I got a kill though. I mean, you've done your job right. You died. That's the first role of a support, and you got your ADC a kill. You've done the two things which supports are supposed to do.
Yep.
I mean, it really separates you from the bad supports. You know, the ones who don't die.
Yep.
Oh.
Because, you know, everyone plays that Ergot support. That well-known top-tier support champ. Anyway, what were you saying?
We make it work pretty well. Yeah, what do you like go to galleries and shit, and do you enjoy it? I mean,
no, I don't choose. If it's out of my own choice, then no.
And what do you think of people who actually actively go to them?
I don't know, I don't like...
Like if I have a friend and they're like, oh, I've just been to the gallery today, or like, you know, I've been to this museum, I have to seriously consider if I want them to be my friend any longer. I don't know if that's like a normal thing or not, but...
I don't see anything. I think it's fine. Whatever.
Can you... Okay, cool. We're chill. I'm just gonna have to get used to you dying a lot.
Mm-hmm.
For God's sake, do I have to look after you every second of every day?
Yeah.
Every day. If I heal you for nothing, I healed you for nothing.
Oh.
Jeez. Are you trolling me? Are you like, what? Please, we're friends, Andrew. You're doing this for time.
Why would I do that to you, Liz? I would never do that.
I don't know, Andrew. Why are you doing this to me? Jeez. Okay. Okay. We haven't said shit about art other than that, like you don't like going to galleries, right? Explain. Do say more. Can we just please express how shit art is, and especially like in the education system? Ugh, I hate all this, like, you study media, oh, you have to go to like 50 art galleries. No, you don't. No, you don't.
I don't know about that because I've never studied media, but
yeah, but
I don't dislike art. It's just not mine.
Oh my
activity
days.
of choice or habit of choice, over hobby.
Like last year on my foundation course for uni, we had to go to some art galleries.
This guy.
Sorry, we had to go to some art galleries, and there was just no point. Like we had to do like essays on them, and it's like I make films. Why do I need to know about like the Renaissance fair of like 1582 and like the art pieces that were made in that era or something? Like what effect will it have on my production? It's just a broken thing, and I think anyone who goes to galleries is just pompous unless you have like a relative who is in one of the pictures, or unless like you're trying to bang a girl or something. I think those are the only reasons.
Yeah, but for you, that's the only reason to do anything in life, Lewis. So
I guess that's true.
I think it's fine. I don't see anything wrong with it. I don't see why there would be anything wrong with it.
But why are there only like galleries and museums for boring shit?
Just because you don't find it interesting doesn't make it boring.
Why aren't there like why aren't there YouTube video museums where they just like you don't like you know those old
Well,
videos on
will be in
YouTube
the future.
like chopsticks or whatever, right? Like cat doing chopsticks or whatever, but there's loads of them and you just can't like you can't remember them all the time. There should be a museum just full of shitty old YouTube videos.
I wouldn't be surprised if there wasn't one in the future. If there was one in the future, it's just not. There's not been enough time has passed for that to come about. Yeah.
Well, I've just thought of it now. I want to patent that idea.
I'm sure you're not the first.
No, I am the first. Have you heard of it before? No, you haven't. So yeah.
Well, there's the proof. Undeniable evidence.
Can you even patent an idea like that?
Sorry?
Like, I'm pretty sure you can't patent an idea if you don't have like active means to like actually like make it or something, right?
I have no idea how.
It's like saying, "Oh, I don't want anyone making an art gallery," and then like, even though I'll never make an art gallery in my life, you know.
I guess so. Yeah. I don't know how that shit works, but yeah.
Okay, so should I don't know how to like express my hatred of art. I think like art is beautiful, but what you said about how in our last episode about philosophy, you were like, you were talking about how like some shit isn't like useful. Yeah, people still like it for like reasons and stuff. Like colors, like the color itself doesn't mean anything. It's like what people put to that color, which means something, right? And it's like art is only like what you put to it, which means something. But why does that? I don't get why you should study it unless you're like an artist. Like, I understand the basics of how it can like work its way into film and media and stuff. Like really, you know, like. But there are other ways which you can learn exactly the same lessons, like exactly the same lessons, from just studying actual films, and you'd learn a lot more. Do you know what I mean? It's like, maybe you're like unbiased because you haven't like gone through the situations, but like I think.
Well, I think you're talking about a more specific, like part of the education system rather than art, aren't you? You're not criticizing art in and of itself. You're criticizing how the education system
how
uses
art
it.
is like used in the world. Like I don't mind like an art piece on its own, but when it like ties into education like that, I don't like it.
Okay, well that's fine. Yeah, that's like a different discussion from what I thought you were.
So do you think like age has like affected art in a good or a bad way? You know how like back in the day, if you wanted like a selfie or whatever, you'd have to get someone to draw you for 5 hours.
A 17th century selfie. Do you mean in terms of like how technology has changed, like art, like how it's do you mean how it's created, how art is created?
No. I mean like
how it's perceived.
Yeah, how it's used and perceived, because like art. You know, you could be a professional artist back in the day. Like that is an easy job, not easy like easy to do, but like there's loads of them. It's a job which people have, right?
Yeah.
Because
I think
you know your family portraits or whatever, you have to get it drawn.
I think it's a bit of both actually. I think
And
there's
do you
like
feel
good.
bad about how
I think there's good and bad. Like it's gotten better and worse in different ways. I think like the whole thing with like the internet and like globalization has done a lot of good for like art and other things, like the arts in general.
See, I think it's made it worse.
In terms of like there being more of a global sort of scene.
I think now
like cultures and traditions being spread around more quickly, which is cool.
Oh, I'm just trying to farm.
And like influences being spread more quickly and stuff, but on the
because of media, and there's just so much, you know, everyone can see everything, and everyone can do art now because it's so easy with photography and shit. I think it makes it worse. I think it.
Yeah, no, that I was going to get to that if you let me finish.
Why would I let you finish?
Yeah, what was I saying? Yeah, like in terms of like being able to like share your stuff more easily and all that kind of stuff, I think is really cool. But on the other hand, it's like stuff can become too easy, and it can become too like. There's less like.
You're being ganked, by the way. Fizz is there.
Yeah, it's fine. He can't dive me.
This is coming up.
What was I saying? Yeah, like when it becomes too easy to do stuff, people kind of like lose the sort of. I don't know how to like what the right word is, but.
Fizz is still here. Someone.
Is it? Oh shit.
Anyone?
Yeah.
Oh.
But
what is Kazik still? Jeez.
But when like something's too easy, you just kind of like people start taking it for granted. I think.
Oh.
You're gonna die getting that.
Nah,
You got it, nice.
Jeez.
People like start taking their resources that they have for granted, I think, rather than
Fizz is somewhere.
making the most of them and actually making them
Oh, he's mid.
actually relying on like creativity rather than like the easy resources.
Yeah.
So I think it's good. I think it's good and bad side for sure. I think one thing that like this it doesn't just apply to art, but like music as well, and pretty much any of the arts really, is that over time the good stuff gets, all the like the bad stuff gets filtered out, and
How
so
so?
this is why it's really easy to say like, oh, music in this generation is really shit and it used to be really really great, because no, like if you think, how can I explain it, if like there's a really shit band now that's like really like bland and really like uninteresting, then after like a few years no one's going to want to remember them, right?
So you mean like Daft Punk or something?
Go fuck yourself.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean that.
And so no one's going to like remember them in like a few years time, and so they're just eventually going to get forgotten about. But the musicians and like the artists and the whoever's that are like kind of original and creative and unique are going to get remembered more, and so that's why
I was going to
and so
mention
that's
right?
why as time goes on it seems like the further back you look the better the stuff is, because we've forgotten about all the bad stuff, which is kind of like a good way of like sort of filtering.
No, I like that, but I was going to say, do you think like the praise we give to old stuff is sort of obsolete now? Like, say for example, in 200 years we have like amazing guitarists, new techniques and shit. Are we still going to look at Slash and think he's amazing? Do you think that's even relevant? Do you know what I mean?
I don't know. I mean,
Like it seems we have like a lot of appreciation for shit that like was good in the past, but that doesn't mean it is good now. And people like say, so whatever. Like, is it that great? It probably is, but I mean, like,
I think it is, yeah. But I don't know. I think a lot like you have to think about things in the context of their time and when they were created. I think it's like, I don't know. I think it's kind of unfair to like not to like ignore the time that something was made. Especially actually, since if you're talking about someone like Jimi Hendrix, it's not just about like someone's technical prowess, but also someone's like creativity and ability to pioneer a new kind of technique or a new kind of sound or a new kind of art style or something.
The thing about like Jimi Hendrix though is he's not outdated yet. Like.
Well, I mean that's what they say about the greatest musicians and artists, is that they don't really ever age.
But I think they can do.
I don't think so. I think if you
like say a left-handed guitarist comes out who does Jimi Hendrix style, but miles better. But no! Oh! Sorry.
That sound.
I was like one dagger away from dying.
One dagger.
Jeez, that was.
Dagger.
No. Okay, so say like somebody comes out who can just blow Jimi Hendrix out the water, and like he does the same style but in his own way, kind of, and it's just better. Like he's just like the next pioneer, right? And he's like left-handed, and he just everything that Jimi Hendrix does, he just does it like 5 steps better. Like maybe in 500 years or whatever, just. At some point, someone like that will be born, right?
Yeah.
And Jimi Hendrix will be forgotten, right? Because that.
I don't know. I don't think he will for a little
I think
while.
it's safe to assume that some people who were famous have been sort of knocked off their pedestals. Loads of people who set like world records, or loads of people who have done some achievements. It just depends how sort of memorable they are. But I think with time, anyone can be like less memorable. And I think the only reason that there's loads of people who we mention like kings and stuff from back in the day is because it's more like historical from the days where like anyone who just had their name like written down, that was like automatically important when we found it or whatever. Do you know what I mean? It's like
yeah, I guess so.
That happens now.
I don't know though. I think there's still like I think it's still pretty likely that there are going to be a lot of people that will still be like remembered in like hundreds of years time.
Oh, I'm coming. Oh, she is.
Fucked.
Come on, Lewis! Yes!
I love how he said, come on, Lewis. Wow.
What? Can't refer to yourself in third person?
Apparently you can.
Come on, Fizz.
What was I saying? Yeah, I don't know. I don't think it's like
Yes!
unlikely that someone like, well, I mean, Jimi Hendrix, if you want to keep using, if you want to keep using that example.
Wait, you've gone really quiet.
Will be.
You like move your mic away from us?
No, I didn't.
Okay, fair enough. Anyway, go on.
Will be like remembered in the future. I don't see like why that would necessarily change.
He went invisible. What does that mean? Did he go somewhere? Tell me. Has he gone back into this bush? Oh no, wait, there he is. He's not smart. Even though he got away from me.
Wow, that's one Blitzcrank. Well done.
Oh,
Look at this Blitz.
can you stop? This Lucian is fighting a Shaco clone. It's making me uncomfortable. That was what? What? Please explain the situation to me.
See you later, kids.
No, please.
Oh my
I don't want to die. No.
Wow.
Can this nation start fighting a Shaco clan?
He was like,
enemy
there were
has
two
been slain.
Shacos, right? One of them was just like standing still, fighting. The other one was like clearly getting away, and I'm just, what? No. The game just juked. Oh, I don't.
The game juked you.
I'm not happy right now. I don't feel good. I feel very weird. But
Shit,
that was horrible.
what were we saying?
You were talking about Jimi Hendrix again.
I don't know why we're talking about him so much.
Oh,
We're supposed to be talking
do you
about art, not music.
Why don't you ask me a question about art now?
Hmm.
If you don't have a question, I've got a juicy question right here, ready. Got the ready question right here.
Ready, steady question.
Are you ready for it?
Yeah, go on.
Okay, so like, do you think it's a bad idea for people to want to be artists now? Now, this sounds dodged to say it, but let me explain it before you say anything, okay? Right? This is my channel! Anyway, so... So, I mean, like, if you're good at art, you should be an artist or whatever. You should, you know, if you're talented. But I hate it when people are, like, shit at art or mediocre and are like, I want to be an artist. I think it really has to be... I think if to be an artist, you have to have other people telling you you should be an artist. It shouldn't be your decision. Not like your decision, like, oh, you'll be an artist. I don't want to be an artist, and then they force you to be an
What the
artist.
fuck is this Shaco doing? Can we kill him, please?
He is tanky, man. Or I'm weak, one of them, but still.
He's...
Oh, come on. I'm not ready for the trick.
He went this way,
Did he? I don't
Yeah,
think he
guarantee.
did.
There he is, dude. I told you.
Should I ult him?
Yes.
Or, okay, you sure? Fizz
Yes!
is gone.
Oh, it's
Fizz
too
is
late
here,
now.
man.
It's too fucking late,
Come
you
on, just
moron.
get Fizz. Oh, fuck.
You're so indecisive. You always do this. You're like, should I?
Look, you sound like a married couple, right? Just shush. Okay.
It's because we are.
Don't tell everyone. Jeez. Anyway, yeah. So, do you get my point of that? Like, if you're really talented at art and
I
people
get
are
it,
telling
but I
you-
don't agree with it.
What? Fuck! No!
Did you just walk into Oh my god.
I was literally like looking somewhere else and oh. I'm
Fucking
so
hell.
sorry.
I'm not sure I can accept your
That's
apology.
my first death, okay? Leave me alone. Fucking ugly Urgon man. You're fat, okay? You're fat.
Yep.
Fucking fat pile of shit telling me what to do. Look at you, man. Don't even have your own legs.
You wish you had legs like these.
Oh my days. I'm back. So yeah, tell me what you think.
I understand what you're saying, but I don't agree with it.
How come?
I don't know. I don't see why should someone have to be born with a talent in order to pursue it.
Because, and the only reason I'm saying this is because a lot of people with music, art, you know, anything art related, creative related,
Yeah.
right? In things where like there isn't a job in it. Like you can't study art at like uni and then like be guaranteed a job from it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, sure.
So with things where your money and future comes from your reputation and how good you are.
Do you not think that's their decision though, not yours?
No, because
Why do you have a say in that?
because it. No, what I'm
doesn't
saying.
affect
if
you,
they
it
think
affects
they're
them.
good. It doesn't mean that they can sell themselves in the future, right? The general public has to. You know, the buyer has to fucking hell. The buyer has to think they're good.
Yeah, but it's only but what I'm saying is it's like it's only affecting them.
No, it won't. It will affect.
How does it affect you? How does it affect you in any way?
Okay, no, it doesn't affect me. But I'm saying
Exactly.
somebody can make a poor choice for themselves, and you can advise against that. right? It's
Yeah,
like,
for sure. Yeah.
think somebody should aspire to be a killer, and you're like, no, I don't. And I don't think somebody should aspire to be an artist for exactly the same reasons. It's not really wrong. No, I mean, like, there are just so many people who
I see where you're coming from, but I think you're underestimating the value.
Go on.
I think you're underestimating the value of hard work. I think there are plenty of people who aren't born a prodigy or really gifted at something and can just make a living out of it through hard work.
That is true,
Sorry.
right? But I think if you have that determination, it's fine. But I think...
And I think the thing
There
is
are
that I
some-
think that applies to anything.
Yeah.
Like, if someone doesn't like have the determination to work hard at something, then it's not going to work. Like,
Yeah, but it just
very
seems-
rarely do people just get lucky like that. You
It
know?
seems like being an artist is already like nerfing yourself. So it just seems...
Yeah, I see what you mean.
If you don't have that drive, and I'm saying you should only do it if you do have that drive. There's a lot of ignorant people who like waste their life thinking I want to be an artist.
Yeah, I can imagine there are some for sure.
Are you
I
ready?
don't know. I don't think it's.
the blind. Are you ready for the blind? Fuck! I missed the blind.
I do see where you're coming from, but I don't know. I don't think as long as people like work hard, I don't have a problem with it. That's all. Like, if people like really just don't work hard and they expect things to just work for them,
Yeah.
and then complain about it, then yeah, that's like really bad. But even if someone like works really hard for something and they never it never really sort of takes them that far. 'Cause I mean, there are like loads more artists and musicians who work for extremely little than there are work for like loads. You know what I mean?
Exactly. That's what I mean. Like,
But why does it matter if they're doing what they enjoy and they're working hard at it and they're at least making a living out of it? It might not be like a glamorous living, but if they're making a living out of
but
it,
you know that
then
they
why does it
hope-
matter?
you know that they like hoped for more and wanted more, and that's the life they got stuck with. And what I'm saying is they might have potentially preferred, a life which also didn't hit their dreams, but they just had more income. Do you know what I mean? It just seems like a shame to be forced to live a life which is like a failure of a life you actually wanted. Oh, okay.
That blitz
Killed my
cream.
blitz. That is.
I don't think everyone gets into like art or music because they want to be rich and famous.
Okay. So think
I
about.
think if they do, then they're misled.
You know how people want to make let's plays and shit, right? And there are two people. There are two people who can see themselves enjoying it and want to make them, and then there are people who I want to be, I want to do it for the job or whatever, right? Now, say you put in the work for 3 years or whatever, or for a long time, and you're and you only have 200 subscribers or something, right? And it just ain't going anywhere, right? But
Yeah.
what if you just continued, forever? You're getting shitty Tesco jobs or whatever, while you're still I want to make my dream. You know what I mean? It isn't a life. You need to see sometimes that things have failed, and that doesn't happen. Well, it happens the most with arty stuff, it really is a talent thing and a luck thing, of course. But some people,
yeah.
some people are just stuck in that. I really want to be this, and you just can't get it. You're not you suck. You're not capable. Just talking to myself, Andrew.
It's just a monologue. It's just a way for you to vent your own frustrations in life being just a failure.
I've always been a very vocational person.
Yeah. I do see where you're coming from for sure, but I don't know. I think if someone
Oh no! Fuck.
I think it's about intention really, and why people get into doing something in the first place. Because I do
You seem to ignore the fact that it's gonna alter their life.
yeah, but people who get into something because of wanting to be successful and wanting to become famous or whatever. I think that's just the wrong reason to get into something in the first place, And I think 9 times out of 10 people that do that and becoming an artist or a musician for the money will usually fail because they don't really have their heart in it,
I think it depends on the context, because a lot of X Factor people.
Well,
don't have
this
heart.
I was gonna. I
They're
mean,
getting next.
I wasn't gonna talk about it, but then you mentioned it. So.
But that's when the luck comes in, and viral.
Yeah, no, exactly. That's why I said
internet
9 times
and
out
all
of
sorts.
10, and then every once in a while there'll be the lucky person that does make it, which in turn causes everyone to think that you can make it and become famous and have lots of money.
It does seem more.
It's
more
like a
and more
self-destructive cycle. It's horrible. I hate it.
because of media and how many people there are and stuff, it is more and more the luck way of doing it. Like, you know, going viral is the like the more common way, not the easier way, but the more common way to like get big now, I think, and it will just increase depending on more people actually use social media and stuff like that.
Not
It's
sure.
like a lottery, you know what I mean? It's like if you watch videos and enter on the internet and stuff, you're like automatically drawn in like the lottery, and everyone is. And basically, if you do things on the internet and people notice it, then that can kickstart like a career for you at any time.
Yeah, exactly. And this is what I'm saying. Like because of that like culture existing, more and more people think that the only reason to get into it is because you can become rich and famous, and people forget that you should actually be doing it because you enjoy it and because you know you want to do it to be like creative or whatever.
Come on, baby!
But
Come on.
But like you said, because it does work every once in a while, it keeps itself going, which is yeah, no, it's not good.
You know what you said about how like the fact that it keeps on going makes people think that it'll happen to them, right?
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying about this whole like don't follow arts thing, because a lot of people that, you know, I imagine they sort of think the same thing.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I mean, if we're like,
Fuck, wrong one.
lol.
Oh, I'm fucked.
Yeah, like in terms of like what's it called? Yeah, like it's like I said earlier, it's kind of like about intention and like why people get into something in the first place. And if it's like if you get into something just for the money,
Body block me. Thanks.
to be honest, I don't think it even really matters what it is for the most part. If you get into something just for the money and the fame or whatever, it's much less likely to work. And even if it does work, it's probably not going to be as fulfilling anyway.
I don't think so. I think if you look at it like statistics wise, it's less likely to work. No, I don't actually think that's true. I think people say that because of the whole like not everyone can make it, right? But I think say you have 100 people all trying to be Let's Players, right? At the same rate. I think say 50 of them wanted it to be like desired it to be their job, and 50 of them were doing it for fun, right? Like the content, they all have like equal chances and stuff. But I think the 50 that want to make it like their life and maybe put that little bit more effort into it might have like a slight handicap. But because of the amount of people and that you don't know who is taking it seriously, who isn't, and who has dreams and who is just doing it for fun, because you don't know that, you can't accurately make statistics for it. But it doesn't make sense to me that like it doesn't make sense that you can just say if you put more effort in it and you have hopes that you're gonna get less effort than people who don't have hopes. I think people only say that because there have been people who have just become Let's Players without like intending to. Do you know what I mean? And it's the same thing as thinking like I can be a Let's Player just because you've seen people becoming a Let's Player. Like, just because you've seen people becoming a Let's Player without wanting to be doesn't mean that that's the better way to do it, in my opinion. I understand it's bad, and there's a lot of people who like want to be Let's Players and they don't become it. But I still think you need that drive to give you an advantage, because do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think that's basically exactly what I was saying. Like,
come on, baby, come on! Why are you gonna make him stop?
Nice. Well done. Thanks for the kill, by the way.
I'm getting vexed. I'm pretty vexed. I want to surrender.
I think it's like kind of the same thing as what I was saying, really. Basically, all I'm saying is that you can make it either way, given the right amount of hard work and luck. But I just think on a fundamental level, it's wrong to get into almost anything in life just because you want to be, or you want to make money and be famous. I think that's almost always the wrong thing, the wrong sort of reason to have for doing something.
I don't think anyone actually has that reason.
Oh, I think lots of people do, mate.
No, because I think
lots of people get into something because they think it's going to make them money.
Yeah, but I mean, you say that as if like they get into something they wouldn't enjoy, because they like. I reckon every Let's Player who's like, I want to get money from this, and
loads of people only study a certain course at uni because they think it's going to make them money. Lots and lots of people.
If it's like an academia thing, then I think that's fine. Because it's like if you actually, those jobs where like if you get the grades, you get the job.
Sure.
You should be able
Well,
to.
it's not. Unfortunately, it's not as easy as that nowadays. But yeah, I know what you mean.
Business is another thing. Like although it's like you shouldn't like money shouldn't be your god.
Fuck off, Shako.
You have to have like an eye on money to like.
Oh.
It's not like Steve Jobs like randomly got rich. Do you know what I mean? Like he wanted to be rich and he found a way to do it. I just think it's very difficult.
I don't know. I still feel like there needs to be like an element of enjoyment in what the actual thing is itself.
Yeah, but then
if like I'm not saying you shouldn't. I'm not saying you shouldn't like think about money at all. And if you want to, I don't know, like own a certain car or live in a nice house or whatever, and money is gonna give you that. And if money is like a sort of an extra part of the reason why you're doing something, then that's fine. But don't make it the only reason.
Well, what about people who like getting rich? Like that is the aspiration for them, and like it like that. Say they have a job, right? And they don't enjoy their job, but they do enjoy their job because of the amount of money it gets.
I mean, I suppose that's okay. I don't know. I think that's kind of a shame.
How come?
Because what like the reason they enjoy the money is because of what they buy with it, and so it's just a product of like believing that all these materialistic things make you happy, and they can to some extent, and for some people they might do. But I think it's
Jesus
such like
Christ! Just hit the mic. Got scared.
and
No!
you're getting ganked by the whole team.
Baby, oh.
And like and yeah, like for some people they might get some like pleasure out of that, but I don't know. I think like a surprising number of people would find so much more.
Do you think this is like a bias thing? Like
I don't know, like fulfillment or
can't comprehend like
enjoyment or something in life if they just maybe thought a little bit more about like what it actually is they're spending their days doing.
I think you're underestimating money quite a lot. I mean, like you can buy houses and you can buy a lot of things and you can like provide for your family and you know.
Yeah, when it comes to providing for family, then yeah, absolutely.
It is like it's a big thing, like like.
No, I'm not denying it isn't.
It is an aspiration. Money is a genuine aspiration.
Yeah, and I'm saying it shouldn't be.
Why not?
When you said actually the point about providing for your family, that I like that is like a caveat, and I do definitely agree that if you're a parent, like your number one priority for the most part should be your children.
Like
and like providing for your children should be like an importance. And if that means like sacrificing some of your own ambitions, I think that's really like respectful, and I really I have a lot of respect for people that do that. But I think that on a general fundamental level, I think that if money is like your only aspiration to do something, I don't know, I just disagree with that.
I don't, right? And for the reason of like when you're a kid and you're like, I want to be a fire. I was about to say I want to be a fire engine. Like,
well, you never know. Some kids are like that, man.
Want to be firefighters, and some people want to be doctors. Some people want to be artists or whatever.
Sure,
some people want to entertain people. A lot of kids and stuff will say, I want to be a businessman. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that,
Why do you think they say that?
I love, because I slightly have it, so I can say that like, for me, the idea of making money comes from like a sort of like being the boss kind of thing. Like, it just, I don't know how to explain it.
I think a lot of it comes from like.
I don't think of it like materialistic things. When I'm thinking of like I want to be rich, I'm not thinking of like all the shit I could buy. I'm just thinking of like the accomplishment. Do you know what I mean? Being wealthy is an accomplishment, and it is nice to think that like your kids and shit will be well off, and it is nice to know that you've like done so much shit, and like you can do so much more with money than you can do with lots of other like vocations and stuff like that. Like people say like money can't bring you happiness and all this shit, but like money can like provide to charities, it can fund shit you like, you can do activities you like. Money can fund your passions. It will change your life. I just don't understand. Like, it's such a huge thing, and money is like.
I'm not denying it. I'm not saying it's a small thing. I'm saying I'm saying I don't like the fact that it's a big thing. In like a more bigger scale of like.
Okay, you're doing one of my pet hates here, right?
Capitalist like
you're
materialist society.
You're making a judgment, right, based on how you want the world to be.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm not saying it is the way it is, and I know the way it is, but
Yeah, so
I just don't think
when
I think
ask
that's
you-
wrong.
When I ask you if money is is a good aspiration, and you're like, no, it's not, right? You should be
On
like,
the whole, yeah.
you should be like, yes, it is, but I wish it wasn't. You know, because it is. Actually, I mean, it's like you're looking through like how you want the world to be colored glasses. Do you know what I mean though? It's like would a
I never said that money isn't an aspiration. I'm saying it shouldn't be.
yeah. No,
I'm saying like I for the most part disagree with people that have money, like that only have money in their eyes. And like you were saying before about like people that enjoy the sort of like accomplished side of things and sort of being the boss and all that kind of shit. That's cool. Like if that's what you enjoy, then that's fine. Go for it. But when it just at the end of the day you wake up in the morning and all you think is I want to make lots of money today, I think that's really sad, to be honest.
How come?
Because you're not because the other side is to wake up in the morning and think I want to spend my time doing something I enjoy. It's about the time you spend. We only have a
can enjoy.
Say again?
Why isn't making money something that somebody can enjoy?
Because it's results based. It's not like, how can I explain it? It's not like the activity that you actually spend the majority of your time with. What you're enjoying is what you get out of the end of it, which is
saying you shouldn't spend your life doing things which result in something you like. You should spend your life doing things you like which result in nothing.
No, I'm not necessarily the result in nothing. I'm saying the
rather than like working up to a peak and then working up to a peak and then working up to a peak. Is that what
I'm saying
saying?
the result in and of itself shouldn't be like the prime like motivator. I'm not saying it shouldn't be a factor at all, because if you know, like you said earlier, if you've been working at something for 20 years and you still can barely make a living out of it, then maybe it's time to think about doing something else. But yeah. I'm saying that if the end gain of like 10 hours a day worth of work is the only reason you do something, I don't know. I don't think that's
you, because that's something you say a lot. Like, how does that affect you, right? And why is it bad for them to do it? Like, it's not like it's upsetting them to do it. It's not like it doesn't have any negative effects to actually live like that.
Not necessarily. It doesn't have like a, well, I don't know. That's arguable.
Like, I understand what you're saying. Like, say somebody enjoys music, they will make like a song because they want to, right? And if somebody wants to make money, they might not enjoy how they're making it, but then they'll be.
I mean, listen, I worked in in marketing, you know, in Love Film and ADC for 4 or 5 months, and the most successful people there were the people that did the most like really like big shot like money guys. Were the ones that did it and had a motivator for doing it. Like some people, for example, I don't know, wanted to retire their parents and you know, see their parents happy, or wanted to, I don't know, have their kids have a really like enjoyable childhood, for example, all that kind of stuff. Wanted to buy their kids their first car or whatever. And that's what I'm talking about. Is if you have like a motivator for why you're doing something, then that's great. But if you only do something because of the money and that's it, I don't see it's just not going to get you anywhere.
How many people do you think?
Unless you get lucky, of course.
Do you think a lot of people do that?
Do what?
Like, just do it for like money on its own without any like causes or?
I think so. Yeah.
See, I can't imagine anyone doing that. Like, it seems a bit bizarre to me.
No, I think you'll be surprised that.
Because the idea of money is that you spend it on things. So like.
Well, yeah, but what I'm saying is like there's a difference.
What I mean is, like, if somebody wants to collect money, they must have an idea of who they want to give it to.
So I'm just watching you guys die. Oh, fuck them up. Oh, you're dead. Nice try. What was I saying? I've forgotten now. Yeah, just like, I don't know. It just comes like I keep coming back to it, but it's just about like the original motivator for why you do something. And that's the thing, like these people that I was talking about before, they're doing it like the money is just like a way of getting what they of achieving these goals for them. Yeah. Whereas for other people, money is the goal. Does that make sense? Oh, that's a better way of putting it.
Yeah, but then
if money is like a way for you to achieve X, Y, or Z, then and that's something that you're really motivated for, then that's fine. But if money is the thing that you're trying to achieve,
yeah.
and do you know what I mean?
Okay, so okay,
I think,
okay.
yeah.
I understand you now, right? But if the feeling of for like are you saying that the thing you want to achieve has to be like moral or like with reason, or I don't know how to express myself.
There has to be some kind of like goal other than just the thing itself. There has to be some kind of motivation.
Isn't everything like what you just said? Like, say the goal is to like buy a car for your family or whatever, right? Like, isn't fucking I hate everything. Jeez. Okay, hold on. After this little fight. Okay, so say your goal is to like make your family happy or whatever, right?
Yeah.
And then when you've done that, you've done it and you're satisfied, right?
Yeah.
And if somebody's goal is to make money, and then when they've done it, they're satisfied. What's the difference? Like,
I don't think anyone would truly be satisfied.
I kind of disagree. I mean, I think it's just like a comprehension type thing. I mean, I wouldn't be satisfied with like just money and not knowing like what to spend it on, or not actually wanting to do anything with it. But I think the people who want loads of money or whatever and gain happiness from it, you know, they must have a subjective reason to why they want it and what they're going to do with it and stuff afterwards. Or they might just be in bliss with the fact that they've done it. Do you know what I mean? And just live like that.
I guess so.
I mean, the fact of any aspirations is that you like it for your own reasons, and it's like you can't say someone like, "Oh, don't like that." Do you know what I mean? Like, you can't go up to somebody who wants money and like after they've just got some, and then be like, "Oh, you stop liking that thing you're acquiring." It's like it's just a part of. It's just like a, you know, it's just like a thing. People like certain things. People have aspirations, and I don't see why one is like better than another. I think if you like it, that's the only thing that matters, really. What you do with it is your own business.
I find it like unlikely that there really is anyone that's like, if you took someone like that and then change their situation so they're doing something else that's like more, how can I put it? Basically, like I don't think there are many people that actually would be like properly, like feel like properly fulfilled and satisfied that they've spent their time doing that.
Yeah, but that's
I
why
just find that hard to believe.
that's why I had a hard time believing that you thought there were people who want money without actually having any idea of like what they wanted to spend it on and stuff, like having a family they wanted to give the money to, etc.
Yeah.
Right? That, you know, I don't think people like that exist, or like if they do, they're rarely. But it's the same thing.
I think
of
no,
like,
this is what I'm saying. Like, people like that exist. Like people fool themselves into thinking that that's what they want. And this is like the basic of what I'm saying is that people think that something is going to satisfy them and then it doesn't. And that's kind of like what it all boils down to is the reason, like the motivation behind someone writing or something, and they think that, oh, if I follow this and try and get lots of money, then I'll feel really satisfied and I'll feel really fulfilled. And actually they don't.
that can happen in a lot of aspects of life, though.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, you know, in America, that happens to everyone because they're all dumb. Goodbye, American audience.
The lie of the American dream. Yeah.
Anyway, what are you gonna talk about for the next episode? We didn't really talk about arts in this episode. We just had a long debate about like what aspirations. You know what I mean? I really enjoyed it.
Semi-related, yeah.
Yeah. I guess.
Okay, government is going to be our next.
Government, jeez.
More specifically, like English,
UK.
English or
Okay.
UK government.
Well, I think we should touch on other governments.
Yeah, we can if we want to. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. All right. So, I'm Nextrous, playing with Filthy Casual, right? League of Legends. Come back tomorrow. We're going to be talking about governments and shit. See ya.
Au revoir.